Hello there everyone, this is me Ethan here and welcome back to another film review, and today I am very excited because I will be reviewing a brand new movie from Pixar, being Inside Out 2. If you don't know me, I am a big Pixar fan. I grew up watching Pixar all the time, and I followed a lot of the movies once they released in theaters, once I was old enough to go to the theater. I've been following the studio for a long time. I've loved their movies for so many years, and every single time they release a new movie, I'm always so excited for one. And that was really no exception with Inside Out 2. I really enjoyed the first Inside Out film. I thought it was fun, it was heartwarming, it was a tearjerker at times. It helped us see how our emotions work and how we process things. I thought it was overall a great original Pixar film. But whenever this was announced and it wasn't going to have Pete Docter directing, I was a little bit skeptical. And however, I did also believe that Inside Out lends itself pretty well to a sequel because Riley can get older. She can develop more emotions and different feelings over time, so they could really flesh out this idea much more. And that is exactly what Pixar did with this sequel. It feels like one of the most natural sequel progressions from Pixar since maybe the Toy Story films, which feels wild to say, but it's true. It feels like if the first film just continued a few years later. Now obviously the original film released 9 years ago, and there's already some nostalgia that's been built up for the film. I watched the movie whenever I was coming up on turning 9 years old, and now I'm about to turn 19, so obviously there's been quite a bit of development between that time. So now we get to see Riley as she's turning 13, she starts to hit puberty, and you see some new emotions come in. You get anxiety, you get ennui, the boredom, you get embarrassment, and you get envy. And that just makes for an interesting new movie because the older emotions don't know how to handle being suppressed emotions because these new ones have come in and taken over Riley's life. And I think that adds up to some great situations, and as a teen and almost being done with my teen years, I related a lot to Riley and a lot of the experiences she was going through. It was almost a little bit scary and cringe-inducing because I'd gone through so many experiences similar, having anxiety in some situations, trying to be like someone, or trying to get in somewhere, get in with the cool kids, or just try and be yourself in a new environment. I feel like a lot of kids today will relate to it, and I think especially middle and high schoolers will have a great time with this film. Riley is much more of a main character in this film too. The emotions still totally get their time to shine, but you get to see a glimpse a lot more into Riley's life over the course of a weekend and how she handles her new emotions, and I love that. Now obviously you don't go to Toy Story to see Andy, you go to see Woody and Buzz, but this time around, since she's developing more, you get to see some more of the in real life situations, and as much as she can be frustrating at times and make bad decisions, whoa, you can understand where she's coming from because you've been there in that stage of life, either way in the past or currently as you're watching the film as a teenager. The voice cast continues to do a great job. However, Mindy Kaling and Bill Hader stepped out of their roles as Disgust and Fear respectively. I think they didn't get the right amount of pay they were wanting, so they were out of the cast this time, but I honestly think the new actors that ended up replacing them did a better job, and they got even more time to shine, which I really enjoyed. I think there is some familiarity in the plot between the first and the second one, as the emotions are now cast away from parts of Riley's mind and they have to try and find a way back. There's still a little bit of that adventure to it, except it's no longer just Joy and Riley, but they implement new ideas like the stream of consciousness. Whenever Riley's thinking about something, you see an item float by, and just fun ways to visualize the mind. And there's even a point in the film where the older emotions go to a vault deep in the darkest part of Riley's mind, and I won't spoil what you see in there, but what you do see in there had me laughing like crazy, and it got my whole audience in my theater laughing a lot, and it was a really, really funny scene, and I absolutely loved it. And speaking on the new emotions, I thought anxiety was a great addition. There's a lot of relatable moments where we can understand where anxiety would come from. I thought Maya Hawke did a really good job at her voice performance. She does like a little cackle squeal whenever she gets excited, and I found that to be really fun. I also enjoyed Iowa Debris as Envy. I didn't really fully get Envy's emotion. It felt like she was just there to kind of bounce off of anxiety because boredom and ennui and embarrassment don't talk a whole lot, so they needed another emotion who was more verbal to bounce off of anxiety. I still thought she did a really good voice performance. She just wasn't the most interesting out of the new emotions. Overall, though, I found the new emotions to be great additions. It's not quite on the level as Bing Bong from the previous film. It doesn't give you that gut punch like you want, but I think anxiety is a great addition. Well, anxiety isn't a great addition, but you know what I mean, a good character addition to this film, and I thought she brought some interesting ideas and even some cool animation at times. And one of my favorite parts about this film is that anxiety thinks that she's protecting Riley. As much as she is the antagonist of this film, she thinks she is the hero. She's thinking out of all these different possibilities where Riley could go wrong, thinking that she's trying to help so Riley can think through all these situations so she can figure out the best one, while it really isn't helping her. And I found that to be an interesting way to take the character, because often our anxiety does take control of us and we think it's for the better whenever it really isn't. And I thought they did a great way of showcasing that in the film and just visualizing it. Now, I really only have two major negatives with this film. I mean, one of them is it's just not as emotional as the previous film. It doesn't quite hit the same. But my two real issues with this film is mainly the pacing. I think it flies by way too quick. It's just characters talking here and the characters talking here, and then we're on to the next scene. And then the music cut away, and it's just extremely fast-paced. I don't think it had many moments to really slow down and reflect on anything until maybe the third act. So I didn't love the pacing there. And then also, do emotions have emotions? Maybe this is just a nitpick for me, but there are moments where sadness will have a brighter moment where she'll feel a little bit happier, or joy will feel sad, or anger will provide a better solution than just being angry. And it got me thinking, are there emotions inside the brains of the emotions inside of Riley's brain? And do those emotions have emotions, and do those just go on forever? That messed with me, but maybe that's just more of a nitpick. I don't know. And obviously, with every single Pixar movie, the animation is stunning, the colors pop, there is not a single scene that is lit poorly or looks bad. It all looks insanely beautiful, and it's just even further a step up from the previous film. All in all, I think I enjoyed Inside Out 2 slightly better than the first, just because I think I related to it more. As much as the first one is great and shows how our emotions work, this one progresses even more, especially for older audiences, to help us understand how we use our emotions in our day-to-day life, and it helps visualize them in an easy to understand way for all ages, but especially teenagers. Overall, I'm giving Inside Out 2 an 8 out of 10. Inside Out 2 feels like a natural continuation of its predecessor. It won't tug on the heartstrings as much as the original, but it's likely more relatable for many kids that have grown up since the first one. This is a great sequel that once again helps us understand the emotions inside of our head. I would highly recommend this as another great addition to the Pixar catalog. So what did you think about Inside Out 2? I know a lot of people have seen it already. It is making a ton of money, so please tell me any and all opinions down in the comments section below. So if you all enjoyed this review and if you all enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye and have a great day.